Hello there, and welcome once again to the Mayor's Magazine. I'm Mick Cornett, the Mayor of Oklahoma City, and this is our program for October 2016. Thanks for joining us. In our first segment, we're going to meet Melissa Houston. She is the Oklahoma Labor Commissioner.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I want to know a little bit more about you because I can't imagine a little girl grows up saying, I want to be the Oklahoma Labor Commissioner someday.
Right.
I assume that wasn't your career path?
That was not my career path, nor was Homeland Security. I spent, almost 9 years working for the Office of Homeland Security. So not exactly the things you grow up dreaming about. But for me, my career path took kind of an interesting trajectory. My very first job was working for a sentencing commission for a think tank. And I was hired on January 19th, 1995. So 3 months to the day of my very first job, I was in the bombing in downtown Oklahoma City, and we were located.
You were in the Journal Record building.
We were in the Journal Record building right above the survivor tree. And walked away. I was not injured.
Well, describe that moment a little bit, though. I mean, I assume you remember it vividly.
Absolutely. It was, and I do some of our first persons for the memorial. I'm on the board now for the memorial, and very proud of the work we've done. And my story was, I think, from the perspective of just kind of the shock of being a young attorney and at my desk that day, and then all of a sudden everything just changed in an instant. When so many people did not walk away, that I was able to walk away that day and go home and not go to the hospital was just, but then the guilt that I carried because of that, when I was spared and so many people were not. And so my kind of career path and my desire to kind of be of use and be of service in some way and to try and continue to move forward is, just really intertwined in a lot of ways with what we've done with the city, which is just, really demonstrated that there is hope after tragedy. There is a path forward, no matter how challenging things may seem at the beginning. Mm-hmm. So.
And how did you end up at the Labor Commission?
I have ended up working in a number of public policy positions. So I was the Deputy Director of the Sheriff's Association for several years, working on criminal justice work. After 9/11, there became a need to establish a state Homeland Security office, and I got a call from then Bob Ricks, who was the secretary at the time for Frank Keating. So I helped establish that office, start a state agency from ground zero, which was incredible. All the response systems and the urban search and rescue and the interoperable communications and all the things that we use now through a multitude of responses were things that our office designed and created, and very exciting. From there, I went to work for the Attorney General. I was his chief of staff, and was not really expecting to get the call. But after the horrible murder of Commissioner Costello, and as tragic as that was, I got the call and originally said, no, not really interested in this. I'm not really interested in taking a huge pay cut, for one, but going into a political position in such a difficult time. But I think that sometimes, circumstances are such that I probably was more sensitive because what I had been through the Murrah bombing, that I was more sensitive to what the staff was going through. And then my background in public policy, I think, is very helpful to the agency to really quickly learn what it is that we do and what are some things that we can be doing differently. So even though it wasn't something I was seeking, I think these things have a way of working out okay. And so I'm just trying to be of service while I can. So I have 2 years.
What does the Labor Commissioner's job entail? What do you oversee?
So it's really interesting. A lot of people think that we deal with labor issues, right? That would make sense.
Yeah.
Actually, not very much. We have a very small piece that deals with wage and hour compensation. So where somebody has worked and has not been properly compensated, we do handle those claims. But primarily we focus on 2 areas. One is safety, so workplace safety. If you are a public employer, such as the City of Oklahoma City, we help you with those kinds of issues and injuries or training and whatever way we can be of assistance. For private employers, we actually have an incredible program which is called an OSHA consultation program. And OSHA has just announced that the fines have gone up almost 80%. And so a business is thinking, what do I do to, help respond to this? Well, one of the things you can do is to contact our office. We have a program, it's free, it's confidential, and we can walk through an OSHA consultation. We can walk through an OSHA inspection, help those private businesses identify areas that they could get fined, and then they can make those corrections ahead of time and save our businesses millions and millions of dollars. So great program. The other major area that we focus on is regulation. So amusement rides, elevators, boilers, CNG pumps, alarms, locksmiths, sprinklers. I mean, we have just this huge regulation, licensing, inspecting component that we do as well. And that's been an area I've focused a lot in, trying to kind of update all that and have a dialogue with our business leaders and figure out if what we're doing still makes sense or if we need to take a look at some of those.
Right. Okay, so for instance, with elevator inspections, that's an annual inspection, and you have a staff of people that go out and check every elevator throughout the state?
We do, and if you're a large city like Oklahoma City, which has opted out, the city of Tulsa was opted out, and then they realized that it was costing them a lot of money, so they gave it back to us. But so we will do those inspections, and it's an annual inspection. Or if there's an issue, if there's an injury or a complaint or something like that, then we'll go out. But that's a great example of an area that there is a fee in statute that has not been raised forever. The inspection program operates at about a $500,000 shortfall every single year, and it just doesn't make sense anymore. And I've also learned that the fee we're charging is completely undercutting the private market. So if you're an inspector and trying to build up a private inspection business, we can always undercut you. And I don't really think that's the right role of government, to be undercutting the private sector. And so that's a great example of an area that we're looking at. Does this make sense? And so I'm trying to get more private inspectors, but it's difficult to do when we're artificially deflating the market as a government agency. And so trying to address that, build up that private market, and then hopefully the Department of Labor kind of, maybe we end up, there's plenty of elevators to inspect and escalators and all of that. And so hopefully we can evolve where our program doesn't have a shortfall, where the private sector is built up a little bit, and maybe we are able to focus on some of those public sector areas. So just really taking a look at the weeds of some of these regulations.
We tape this show in September. It runs in October, so
Yes.
the Oklahoma State Fair has already concluded as viewers watch this show. But in general, what are your staff's obligations as far as the State Fair and the safety of the rides that take place there?
So it's been really interesting. I mean, obviously this summer there's been a lot of high profile accidents that have occurred. And I think one of the things that I hope the public understands is that regulating amusement rides varies depending upon the state and depending upon the ride, but really the state. So there are only 30 states that regulate amusement rides.
Wow.
Within that 30, some of them just turn in an insurance policy, or some of them self-report. Oklahoma does all that, and we have state inspectors. So for example, at the state fair, they go out before the fair opens. They're there when the rides come off the truck. They are there for every minute of the construction of the rides, and they are on site throughout the entirety of the fair. So Oklahoma has a higher level of regulation than I think some of the other states that have been in the news. And
Interesting.
It's an important thing for people to understand.
Anything else before we go?
I think just that we have a lot going on at the Department of Labor that I think people are just not aware of. And so it's been a real privilege to get to explain to people all the different assets and resources that we have there. Number one, of course, is our people. We have incredible people that I work really hard to be as competitive as I can be with the private sector, but luckily they have such a servant's heart and are really trying to do what they can to protect the safety of the public and the safety of the workplace, and it's been a real honor to be there.
Melissa Houston is the Oklahoma Labor Commissioner. 2 more years in
Yes,
this
sir.
term, and you have decided not to run for, I call it re-election, but you've never run for election. You're filling an unexpired term.
I'm filling an unexpired term, and for me, that's a personal decision based more on timing. Our sons are in the 5th and 6th grade, and so it's kind of the next 3 years I feel like are an important time to be involved in their lives and to be paying attention and to be present. And so focusing on that instead of running statewide is probably best for me right now
All
and
right.
for my family.
Well, good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah. We'll be back with more of the Mayor's Magazine right after this.
Hi guys, I'm Enes Chandler from Oklahoma City Thunder. We're here today in animal shelter. When I was a kid in Turkey, I have a lot of, I had cats, I have a lot of birds and fish, but I never, I had a dog before. Now I'm like thinking about adopting an animal. Please get involved with OKC Animal Welfare and get involved and adopt and volunteer like I am.
Конфрiniet. Con, free, niet. It's the harmonious marriage of free and convenient. And it's the perfect word to describe the mobile app from Oklahoma City Utilities Customer Service Division. Download it free today and manage your OKC utility account on the go. You can check your bill on your smartphone or device and pay your bill on the run, anywhere, anytime. Free app, convenient access. It doesn't get more convenient than that. Download the OKC Utilities app today, the convenient way to manage your Oklahoma City utility account.
At Burk, we're not just stops on a map.
So I love it that I'm able to maintain my independence and get out and shop and do the things I love to do.
Where public transit goes, community grows. Plan your journey at embarkok.com.
Welcome back to the Mayor's Magazine. Our guest this segment is Don Burk with the Recovery Center. Welcome to the Mayor's Magazine.
Thank you, sir.
You were telling me during the break that you were born in Oklahoma City, but actually did most of your growing up years somewhere else.
That's correct. Lived in Indianapolis, Indiana for several years. Didn't quite make it to the college age, but came back to Oklahoma to go to college and went to Cameron University and then later finished up at Southern Nazarene.
And you seem to like this area for some reason. What is it that appeals, that Oklahoma appeals to you?
I think what I enjoy most is having a closeness. In Indiana, people say the North is cold, and sometimes that's also the personalities of the people. In Oklahoma, being raised around my grandparents at times over the summers, really enjoy the people, just a closeness.
And tell us about the Recovery Center. What is its mission?
TRC, the Recovery Center, our mission is to change lives of Oklahomans that are struggling with substance abuse issues.
And it sounds like you deal with a wide range of substance abuse issues. What are the types of substance abuse issues that you would accept?
Opioid addiction, everything from alcohol and cocaine, but obviously the hot topic lately has been the opioid and the benzodiazepine addiction that seems to be sweeping our nation. Now,
if someone is addicted or a family member is addicted, do they come and stay at your facility, or is this an outpatient
They do
basis?
stay. We have the capacity of 48 beds, and we can help people for 30 days or longer.
And is this covered typically by insurance or by Medicare, or how is the payment handled?
We partner with Oklahoma Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services, and they provide a significant grant to us. We're very grateful for that. We also accept all major insurances.
In your view, what is the main cause behind the increase in opioid addiction?
I think it's just the availability. Our doctor, Dr. Billy Stout, is also on the medical board. As the secretary, he's very focused on helping doctors to educate them on how to prescribe, to address the needs of the individual, rather than looking at that fifth dimension, which has obviously been pain for so many years, to look at the individual and to really assess, is this medication necessary, especially if it provides any kind of numbing or dulling or pain management.
Well, at what point should a doctor start to get suspicious about continuing to prescribe a medicine?
Well, as addicts tend to need more and the availability is scarce, a pretty common question or statement is, can I get more? I lost my prescription. The dog ate it. All the same school kid kind of excuses are what the doctors are experiencing. And of course, that doctor trained to help, it listens to the individual and says, oh, well, let me help you. And actually, it's not helping them, it's making things worse.
If you think a family member, someone you care about, may be on this path, what should a person do?
I would contact TRC, the Recovery Center, 525-2525. We have staff that are available 24 hours a day to help. And we focus on the family.
Now, as far as the recovery center goes and how you house people, do you house people close together who have a similar addiction, or does it matter once you enter the recovery center? Do people with different chemical dependencies commingle with others?
Interesting you asked that. We do have a private unit where you can stay in a private bed or a semi-private room, access to all the same resources. You can commingle with the other individuals that are staying at TRC. But for the most part, we don't separate people by the substance that they used. We see that as a very common malady, regardless of what the instrument they're using to harm themselves with.
And a large problem is that people can successfully go through a treatment center, but then, sometime later, a year later, 5 years later, they might fall prey to the disease one more time. How do you deal with trying to get people to once they leave your place to not have to come back?
Well, we're challenged with educating the families and helping them to understand that those text messages, those hugs, those words of support to encourage them is very important, even when they're in a state where they're fallen, where they are struggling and they're just not quite ready, or they've given recovery a chance and it didn't stick. Be supportive, encourage that person to come back, to get back on the horse. I certainly encourage those because there's about a 30% of the folks that come through TRC that do come back within a year to 5 years.
If a person is thinking about checking into the center, they might be concerned about their job.
Correct.
What's the message to employers if they have an employee who believes they need help?
Well, at TRC, we also have outpatient counseling as well as ambulatory detoxification. Not everybody can drop their lives and their jobs. To an employer, I would say be supportive. This is an individual, you've taken a lot of time, a lot of resources, important money, and you've found this person, you've built them up, and they've stumbled. Support them. Get them into the recovery, the help that they need, and be supportive through that process. That you're going to get back a better human being. You're going to get back, obviously, a tax-paying individual, but somebody who's focused when they come back, someone who's grateful.
How is Oklahoma City, how is the state of Oklahoma doing on this issue compared to other cities and other states around the country?
That's a good question. Oklahoma, I believe the current stats just came out recently, and we're not ranked very well. I believe we're ranked about 47 in the nation. But also, what's amazing what ODMH SAS is doing is we're doing so much more with such little. I believe we are supported less than 25% of what many of these other states are providing to their departments.
All right. So one of your messages would be, I assume, that the state should increase its mental health budget?
Please, yes. We had to begin to look at contracts with insurance companies 3 years ago because the state, in our struggles as a state, we have a huge shortfall that's not any surprise or nothing that's secret. And in that shortfall, for every patient that we admit, we're about $150 short per day in being able to help them. Now, we continue to do that, but we rely on our private customers as well as those insurance contracts for reimbursement.
All right, just a few seconds left. Final comments on
please,
the mission?
we've got some great stats on trcok.com. Call us anytime. It's all about the family and just reaching out and helping Oklahomans.
Don Burk is with the Recovery Center. Don, thanks for coming on the Mayor's Magazine.
Thank you, Mayor.
We'll have more on the Mayor's Magazine right after this.
Coach Switzer here to help you put the blitz on mosquito-borne diseases. This is something my family knows a lot about. My son Doug got West Nile virus, and it's not easy to beat. Here's my mosquito defense playbook. Drain standing water, protect your skin with DEET repellent, and wear long clothes when outside. Make sure your window screens are in good shape. Join the team. Report stagnant water to Oklahoma City and City County Health.
Down here. That dog has a thirsty look in his eye. Did you know that it's really not that hard to save water? Like here in the sink. Don't make me run too much. Could somebody shut me off? Now this is my kind of party. A full house. Let's roll. Hey, we're in a drought, which means I'm kind of a big deal. So save me. Really? Save me!
Welcome back to the Mayor's Magazine. In this final segment, we're going to talk about an Open Streets event that is coming up here in October. And with me is Carrie Bloomert. Carrie is the Community Partnership Liaison with the Oklahoma City County Health Department. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And Emma Dean Cradwell is with the Southwest 29th Street District.
That's correct.
The Dese Nueve.
La 29.
Say that again?
Close enough. La 29.
My 7th grade Spanish lessons apparently have slipped a little bit through the years, so
I'm here for you.
Forgive me for that. I got the right person on set. All right, let's talk a little bit about the Open Streets event, which is going to be October 23rd in South Oklahoma City. Carrie, you want to go first and kind of give us an overview of what is an Open Streets event?
Okay. Open Streets is becoming very popular across the United States. It's where you close down a main street to cars for about 4 to 5 hours. So there's no cars, no motorized activity, and it gives people space to walk, run, bike, skateboard, bring their dogs. So it's just to promote physical activity and active transportation. So we're trying to bring that to Oklahoma City, and we've done it for a couple years, but this is our second year on the south side.
All right, let's talk about the other parts of the city where you've already held an Open Streets event.
We are in the spring. Our signature event is on Northwest 23rd. So last year we had about 35,000 to 40,000 people come out. It was very successful, perfect weather, tons of activities. Lots of partner organizations come and provide Zumba, yoga, Tai Chi, basketball, soccer, any physical activity, we try to provide it at this event.
All right, and now we're planning one for Southwest 29th
Correct,
Street.
October 23rd. South Robinson Street, it will start at Southwest 15th and go to Southwest 29th, which includes Wiley Post Park, so there will be lots of activities in the park.
Yeah, and Emma Dean, what are you doing to try and make sure that there's a crowd that shows up? How are we promoting the event?
Well, Southwest 29th Street is one of the fastest growing business improvement districts in Oklahoma City. In consumers, traffic, business owners. So one of the things we're trying to do is to reach out to the business owners so that they can let their customers know, and the public that supports all of those businesses. I mean, we have over 200 businesses in this district between May and Shields, and that's very directly connected with the Robinson and Calle Dos Cinco Historic Capitol Hill District. So it's a very well-connected, vibrant, very well over-involved area. So that's one of the things that we're trying to do primarily is let the business owners know and let them help us spread the word.
Yeah. And health and wellness is obviously very important to you.
It is. Oklahoma City is very well on its way to becoming a world-class city, and we couldn't be more proud. Having grown up and spent a lot of my career in Dallas, I can see where the Hispanic population is going to be a critical part of Oklahoma City. So, and it comes with its woes. We as Hispanics, we have a very rich cuisine and larger families, and we work a lot, so our lifestyle doesn't sometimes lends itself to wellness and exercise and all the things that are good to help us have better health. So Open Streets is a great way to start looking ahead as our community grows, educating our Hispanic community on how to change our lifestyle little by little. It's a fun and exciting way to do it, and we've done it once, and although it didn't have as much of a crowd as 23rd, it was, I consider it a success and
I think
a great vote of confidence for the.
Widely considered a big success story. And you mentioned the vibrant business district that's going on there. I mean, it's amazing if you haven't driven down Southwest 25th or Southwest 29th Street lately, just how vibrant the businesses are. 10 years ago, there were, some businesses that were boarded up or, a chain link fence out fine on the street. And, it looked like an area that was going the other direction. And now that's certainly not the case. There's a lot of people working along Southwest 29th Street.
It's been a collaboration of the city, the planning department and all of your excellent teams and the business and property owners getting involved. Right. It's changing for the better,
Carrie, talk about the City County Health Department and the other efforts that you all have going on about wellness and about trying to be a healthier community.
Yeah. We actually have a very exciting project coming up. We're hoping to launch it in the spring of 2017. It's called the OKC Mobile Market, and we are turning what was a Coca-Cola delivery truck, about a 16-foot truck, into a mobile grocery store. So it will sell fruits, vegetables, meat, dairy, shelf-stable items, and we are going to have that truck park and go into neighborhoods that have low access to good grocery stores. So we're very excited about that. The truck is...
Where would you suggest those areas are? The food desert? Ideally, where would you put those if you had 1 or 2 or 3 or 4? Where would you want them?
Northeast Oklahoma City is struggling with good grocery stores. A lot of people get their groceries at the corner store, which doesn't have good, healthy options. So I would say Northeast Oklahoma City is our main focus for this mobile market.
And you all are also concentrating southwest as far as a new wellness facility.
Yes, we're building a new Southern Oaks Learning and Wellness Center right in the same area as Parmalee Elementary, Southern Oaks Library, and the Community Center. So it will be very similar to our campus on Northeast 63rd with a clinic and classes and education and walking trails. So an awesome resource for the community.
It's been several years now since we formed the Wellness Now Committee and started to concentrate on these areas where health seemed to be less than we wanted.
Yeah.
What sort of success stories can you share?
I can think of one related to mental health. I know you just had someone previously on from the Recovery Center.
Right.
We have a group of mental health professionals that work together, and they have identified an event called Love OKC. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that. It's a big event at the fairgrounds, free health screenings, but they noticed that there was nothing having to do with mental health. So every year now they are a presence at that event, and they see clients needing assistance with anything related to mental health, whether they need a counselor or they need to be referred to someone else or they need to just take a quick screening and get more information. So they have really married the mental health and physical health at that event and showing the community that mental health and physical health should be, taken with the same weight. So I would say that's an exciting success story.
And go over the facilities on 63rd Street just so people know what's available to them.
So out on Northeast 63rd is our Northeast Regional Health and Wellness Campus. We have free walking trails. They're open all the time. Anyone can come use them. There's workout stations along the walking trails. There's community gardens. There's a Kaboom playground, soccer fields, basketball courts. The OSU Extension Agency is also on our campus. And then we host classes in our building for weight loss. We have an awesome program called My Heart. If you don't have insurance, but you have a chronic condition, you can get connected with the My Heart program with free doctor visits. So it's an awesome place to work, and I love it.
All right, well, let's close out the segment by talking about the Open Streets event October 23rd. What's your hope for this one? How can we help spread the word and get more people out?
Spread the word. That's just it. Tell everyone, and tell everyone that this is going to be an exciting new event that's here to stay. Yeah.
Bring their skateboard, bring their pogo stick, bring
your
kids,
dog, your
pets.
grandma, everyone. Yeah. Very fun way to be physically active.
All right.
So.
Well, thank you both for coming on the
you.
Mayor's Magazine, and thank you also for what you're doing, and you countywide and you specifically on the Southwest 29th Street. The area has come so far, and I know people are very, very proud of the success story that you're making down there.
Yes, we are, and it's only the beginning. We appreciate all the support.
And this festival is going to be another opportunity for people to show how proud they are of Oklahoma City. It's October 23rd. It's on South Robinson between 15th and 29th. And the hours of that day?
1 to 5.
1 to 5. All right. I hope you'll get out and join these two and make Open Streets a part of your October calendar. And be sure, and as they said, bring others to come down and enjoy everything that'll be available, and a great opportunity to get outside and enjoy what's available. I'll thank them for coming on the show, and I'll thank you for joining us on the Mayor's Magazine. I'll see you next month with another edition.